Hello everyone, I'm Overhaul and this is my lovely assistant Crystal. Hi. And today we are reviewing Rwby, Volume 6, Chapter 9, titled Lost. Which is not a very accurate title if we aren't being totally honest. I mean, it's not a bad title and I'm pretty sure some people can explain to me why it makes sense. It's just that, well, I won't exactly put it that as the best example of the title. What do you mean? Doesn't Oscar, isn't that them looking for Oscar? Yeah, but I'm gonna talk about it later. So we begin this chapter with Mercury and Emerald, which is not exactly in the background, but it begins with that. And Mercury is training a little bit, while Emerald is a bit doesn't know exactly what to do. Like she's aware that Cinder is alive and she wants to go back to Mistral. But alright, they fight Salem and most likely be on the top of the list of people that Salem wants that, or obey her and wait until she gives us orders. Because unlike Tyrion and Watts and Hazel, they really only are connected through Salem, for Cinder, but so yeah. So we find out a lot about these characters from Mercury in this episode, as well as from Emerald. And basically confirm some theories on what's had. For example, we find out that Mercury is fine with working here for Salem because, it's first hinted at in a little fight he has with Emerald, but Tyrion says, a person that knows so much pain is afraid to leave pain. So much pain? What does he mean? Because in this, let's just say we find out that apparently Mercury's father stole his semblance, which is actually a pretty well done reason. Because so far, people have been speculating what could Mercury's semblance be. And all the different ways he could have gotten his semblance. But in this chapter, we find out that he actually doesn't have a semblance. Which does make sense, because I can imagine he would use it eventually. And also, he's apparently so flippin' strong, the fact that he can fight our main cat girls with bar semblance, which is impressive. But even so, he cannot defeat Tyrion. I mean, Tyrion basically shows how easy he can get defeated by him. Like, Tyrion just shows up, he says some things, Mercury gets upset, he tries to fight him, but Tyrion quickly defeats him. Also, we find out that Emerald viewed Cinder like a mother figure because she had no family. And Tyrion's like, don't be ridiculous. Cinder doesn't care about you. And also, so, you had no mother. You had a mother that didn't love you because she abandoned you. I had a father hated me. And he said he took everything. He took my semblance and he said I could have it back when I get strong. I got strong, but I did not get my semblance back. Which, alright, did his father have a way to steal a semblance, or was his semblance stealing other people's semblances? What do you mean? Well, it's just that it's not exactly... let's see. It hasn't been stated in the series ever the possibility of stealing a semblance. Although it doesn't seem to be that much of a surprise, like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's possible that semblance, let's say, allows you to steal other people's semblances, but but they don't even imply it that well. Or explain it. Now, it is possible that Aspen would make some kind of item or some kind of a spell or something to make people that gives people ability to steal other people's semblances as a, I guess, fight back against people who have, against the villains who work for Salem, to take their semblance away so they could be less of a threat, which makes sense. And then, well, genetic, like, unexpected attack that ends up that equipment or that spells, whatever way they use that, get lost, and then somehow Mercury's father got in contact with it and he realized how that machine works and all that, or whatever. But, well, that's just a theory. It's possible. I mean, maybe we're gonna get later more interactions and we'll find out about Mercury's semblance and what happened to it specifically. But for now, the other thing we know is that Mercury doesn't have his semblance. If it's connected to his legs, who really cares? But yeah, we know that Mercury doesn't have a semblance. So we get confirmation on which villains are going to Atlas. And these two villains are Watts and Tyrion. I think pretty much everyone knew Watts was going because he makes the most logical sense. Even if you don't count the failure with Tyrion capturing Rwby and Hazel and Mistral, Watts made the most amount of sense, with Tyrion coming as a fighting force. So yeah. Yeah, that's basically where it ends. Now Tyrion also seems to be saying, go away, so if you get away, I could go and kill you. Because he says, you two can, do whatever would make you two happy. Which basically says, I want to kill you two. But I cannot because Her Majesty doesn't want me to. Which this might hint more for Amel to be leaving than Mercury, but I don't know really. In fact, if Salem is smart, if anything, so maybe she'll be able to say, so they just decided to leave out of nowhere. Just because they were a little bit scared. Maybe that'll be a punishment for Tyrion, but I don't know exactly. Apparently he wants to kill them. But considering how they're being treated, it seems like they're gonna be in bigger roles. I think it's time we go into the art book of the chapter. Yes, you're correct. So the next part of the chapter is Team Juniper with Jean's sister looking for Oscar, whatever. At that walk, Jean's sister is curious and wonders some things and basically says, why don't you go to Mistral? You can be huntsmen there and graduate and become professionals. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some time before that Mistral school is going to start, considering the fact that apparently Sun and Neptune and the rest of the team can go into Valkyrie, but who really cares? But yes, they basically have a conversation and they try to keep it as ambiguous as possible because they don't want to have Jean's sister know that. But unfortunately, Jean's sister needs to go pick up her son. At least I think it's her son. Yeah, I believe it is her son. And in the meantime, Nora they just want to take a break. With Nora and Ren going to a coffee shop and saying, do you want something or do you want to come with? But John just sits down which is just weird because you're going to look for Oscar, but yet you just pick a break. I mean, granted, you could just be weird at some point because, well, if you're going with the split into teams to go look for Oscar, that does kind of contradict your plan. But yeah. So, when Jean is sitting, he sees a leaf that's similar to the leaves when it's fall, and that reminds him of Pyrrha, and he goes in the middle of a park, I believe. Yeah, I think it was park. And in the middle of that park, he sees Pyrrha's statue, which is a callback to the whole thing that people in her city were praising her, that they considered her an amazing warrior and a huntress. And there he meets a red-haired woman. That's literally her name. I'm not kidding. And she's basically there to have a very heartwarming scene. Which is, them being like, which is, there to her, saying in things like, even though she did not been a huntress officially, she was a huntress through and through. She embodied the huntress spirit and all that. Which then the red-haired woman disappears, and some people don't say that maybe that's Pyrrha's mother. Why she decided to be creepy is no. Maybe she is. Maybe she's Pyrrha's ghost. Maybe Jean's just being delusional. Maybe it's Pyrrha's sister. It's most possibly that it's just illusion made by Jean's mind. But it's also possible that writers in Rwby just said like, alright, we're gonna have someone that will have this emotional moment with Jean, very heartful. So what shall we do? I know, let's have a character that looks like Pyrrha, but let's keep it a little bit different, like maybe keep her maybe smaller than her and give her shorter hair. Maybe that's what we could do? Exactly. So yeah, it's basically like that. So in the meantime, Nora and Ren come from the coffee shop and they don't see him sitting on the bench, but they saw him in there and they come to admire Pyrrha's statue. And they basically get their resolve when they're like, yeah, we are going to Atlas and finishing this mass and helping to the very end. Then we got to the Rwby and they're just... Alright, this scene is just priceless. Because they see Crow drunk on their stairs and they're like, seriously, why you? And yeah, they grab Crow and they help him get up. And so they go back and they find out that Oscar hasn't really left, he just went to go pick up different clothing. And I'll be honest with you, I have mixed feelings about this scene. What do you mean mixed feelings? Well, it's not a bad scene, I mean it does make sense, it's just the way it was kinda presented, it seemed to be kinda like, is this really Oscar? Really Oscar? Or is this just Ospen? Because from where we have seen him last, and to this, there's like a big hole, and we kinda need to see this, and I mean, let's us all be honest. As much as Rwby is one of these shows that from one bad season seems to be hated until the very end, most likely, in fact, I am complaining about, in fact, there are some criticisms to the show that I am still rolling my whatever I used to see, when in this form, Rwby does have its flaws, but a flaw like having an entire character progressive story, it's just weird. I mean, you could give him a new alpha, but that could also just be at the end of the volume. So I don't really get it. But if it's something like Aspen taking over, because Jean did say earlier, how do we know it's really him? How do we know we're not just talking to that liar? I mean, that is a logical possibility. I mean, we don't exactly know if there is a big hole, a big gap in time, so it's possible that when Oscar was alone, he went to go get tried to get in contact with Ospen, and Ospen just replaced him with each other, and then he took over, and now he's just acting to be, but it's just weird. So yeah, when they see him, they have a little comedic scene, but it feels a bit weird. I don't know, this animation is more of a fighting animation than a comic joke animation. So yeah, after that little reunion, Crow goes and says that he's going off to bed. Or to the bathroom because I assume he was drinking a lot. And Jean poses the idea of them actually stealing one of the ships to Atlas. So yeah. And Crow is like, what don't you even think about? Are you insane? Like, I know our condition is bad, but we can have a much, much better option than this. But then Rwby has a pretty generic speech about how they do not need their adults and all that, which is admittedly a horribly done scene, or at least bad. Because for starters, the problem isn't the fact that Crow is an adult and they do not need adults, which admittedly only Blake has any competence in not needing an adult. Because, well, you know, Blake is kind of the only one that actually has any success about an adult. What do you mean? Well, in the previous volume, she was smart enough to know that if the Ilya's invitation could be a trap, so she asked Tom to come with her. Granted, it would be good to know if Gira and Kali were also aware, but consider the fact that Gira seemed to be aware that Blake is not in the house, it seems like they knew about that. So yeah, Blake has the only success, and she did manage to unite the finalists to fight against Adam. And her speech was much better than Rwby's. How the flaw with Blake's speech was the fact that the fire was started technically by her and not by the White Fang, which the reasons why she had to start the fire made sense. So yeah, but anyways, Rwby's speech is not very good, plus since they kinda had to be saved by Maria in early episode, and then in volume 4 she had to be saved by Crow, and her success and her team's success rate by an adult isn't exactly high. In fact, if you consider volume 2, it's better when they have adults than without adults. But yeah. So yeah, so she says that they are going to hear Jean out on his stealing one of the planes from Atlas, and the only thing I will say is I still think they should have gone with my plan with having Blake pretend to be a mere servant to Weiss, and Weiss asking Caroline to, oh, by the way, can you contact my sister? Can you get in contact with Ivan or someone to get in contact with my sister, because I want to see her as soon as I come back to Atlas. And Blake, she's my servant, and basically someone as racist and benevolent in other places as possible. But I guess the plan is at least competent. Not gonna spoil that, but the plan is competent they come up with, which consider the fact that Jean had no clue what to do, is saying something. But yeah, this episode is definitely one of the more lower tier episodes. So yeah. Alright, now I hope you like this video. I hope you're gonna leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos in future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you people next time. Bye. Bye.